Hi, Matthew. Thank you for showing us around your store today. Before we before we go into your store, I'd just like you to tell the audience a little bit more around the store, the location, the size, if there's competitors in the area.
Okay, so the store opened in 2019. It was the second store within the group. It's very much city centre location. We're right next to the bus stop, pretty much the heart of the city. The sales floor is about 2,000 square feet. And in terms of the demographics, we get a really sort of mixed bag with the nature of the city centre. It's heavily student dominated when the students are in term time. And in terms of competition, we are right opposite probably about a 25,000 square foot Sainsbury's. We've got Co-op, McCall's and Tesco right on the doorstep as well, of which none were there when we first opened the store.
Okay, so a lot of competition in the area.
Yeah, it's got very competitive the last sort of 18 months.
Okay, great. So let's take a look inside your store then. So walking into the store, lovely and open from the outside, really appealing and attractive for customers to come in. Can you just tell us a little bit about what you want the customer to see when they walk in the store? What is your feeling around range?
Yeah, so I suppose the biggest thing, first of all, is the exterior. It's an attractive building in the city centre, so it gives it a very modern feel. Hence, inside the store, we wanted to continue that theme. It's a very premium sort of finish to the store. And I suppose what we really wanted was, as soon as you walk in the front door, is to be able to see every aspect that the store offers. So if you go to your left, you can see the fresh foods and the food to go. There's a core grocery aisle, and then you also get good visibility of the licensed area of the store and the sort of premium spirits. So it's very encouraging, whichever sort of channel you're going down within the store, to pull you to that area.
Yes, it's very, very open and low shelves. It's very, very appealing to walk through.
Well, we were lucky that we got the sort of high ceilings in the store as well. So it although it's only 2,000 square feet, it's a very open feel for the customer.
Yeah, definitely can see that. And going forward, we go a little further into the store, you can see that food to go area in the corner. Is that popular with customers? Does it give them more of an experience in store?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's an area that has adapted since the store opened. So we initially opened the store with a manned serve over unit. That was we made it fresh on a daily basis at the customer's request. But we found very quickly that in a very transient city site, people didn't want to wait for that product to be made. They wanted to come in, pick it up and go. So we sort of adapted it initially, and we've finally got it in a position now where it actually works very well for the store and for the customer. They know they can come in any time of day, pick up the product and go, get to the till, either through the self-scan. It's a good sort of experience for them when they're in the store. We have 3 shifts on there a day, and sales are growing week by week, really, even more so since the restrictions on the city centres have been relaxed.
Well, so Matthew, were sales affected during COVID to this area, or?
Yes. However, I would say we were probably affected adversely to everybody else. We actually saw sales increase. As I say, we've got Sainsbury's right opposite, but we're also located very close to the bus station. So over the COVID period, we actually put an additional Costa machine in because we just couldn't sustain the sales off that one machine in the site. And with a lot of other stores locally being closed, the store became very much a hub in the city centre. But in the city centre, there's 2 stores probably maybe a quarter of a mile away from us, and they both closed during COVID. So it would just emphasise to us how important the location and how we'd laid the store out was during that pandemic. It was phenomenal, really. We were sort of sat there expecting to see this decline, but actually saw an increase in sales.
Yeah, and it's interesting because obviously a lot of the the feedback and data coming out of COVID was the stores in a city location suffered quite a lot compared to rural locations. So it's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, back at the time, I was actually working for Nisa, so it was emphasised to me even more, because you could see from the data that those village locations were growing sales week on week on week, but actually the store itself did really well over that period.
That's great. And so we carry on looking around more of your store. So there's a superb food to go area there, and I can see all the different ranges you have in terms of milkshakes, coffee, bakery, all very important now to convenience stores.
Definitely. I mean, like I say, that area initially we just had a serve over and the Costa machine, so it's evolved even in the last sort of 2 years that we've been open to what you see in the store today.
Yeah, no, it's great. It looks so appealing as well to the customers. So. And we look around, so a bit more of bakery. But one thing that catches my eye is this the dine-in solutions as well. Here, can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of the dine-in solutions, that area when we actually opened was a food-to-go unit. So it wasn't designated for actually your sort of ready meal solutions or your meal for tonight solutions. But as the time's gone by and we've attracted more and more customers, it became more and more important. And again, during COVID, we saw that area of the store increasing because people were actually, you couldn't go out to dine in the city. So actually we benefited from that. There was a lot of premiumization in there. So the range has been tailed back a little bit now as some of the businesses have started to open back up. But actually the sort of premium ranges that we offer, we saw quite a big increase in those across that period. And it's key with the students that's really what they're looking for in our store.
Yeah, you hear that a lot with the trends within the sector as well. And I think, customers demand more of those solutions, and it's really has taken off within the sector.
Yeah, definitely.
We carry on down here, see some more of the impulse purchases range. How is that kind of differed in terms of the last year?
So again, I suppose for us, given the location, we've seen that the purchases across the meal deal significantly increase, and also that ties in with the coffee as well at the same time, as I was saying, with the increase of the second machine. So we've actually seen good growth in there. If anything, we probably need a little bit more space, but the store's getting to the point now where every area needs more room because of the sales that we're generating. And at some point you have to sort of, you've got to still make it easy for the customer to shop in, which was the idea of opening up the front of the store a little bit. It was just to, you could come in, you can pause for a second and make a decision on where you want to go. And I mean, like I say, the location to the bus station has been really strong for us with the bus drivers.
Well, it's a nice problem to have, I suppose.
Oh, definitely. That is the problem you would want. I mean, we've extended the chillers already in the store, which allowed us to increase that food to go area. Like I say, single pops as well. Along with that, we've increased space on that category. So impulse again is another area that we've seen significant growth over the last 18 months.
Yeah, no, that's great. And so you keep moving around, have a look at some more of your store. That all nicely faced up. A lot of hard work from the staff, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that Ricky, who's the owner, is availability, presentation. That's what it is all about in the store. Make it appealing, make it enjoyable to shop in. So yeah, the staff in the store work extremely hard on keeping that in place. Again, chilled's a good area for us in the store. We're up to about 20% participation, which for an independent retailer is pretty strong. And actually, again, things like your juice category, your fresh produce category, desserts within the yogurt category all perform very strongly. And it shows you a bigger message of the store of that dine-in, because things like the desserts, we've seen massive growth in those, where we've been able to significantly increase the range from pre-COVID through to now, and we've managed to sustain that as well. So it's not just a case of it sort of happened because of COVID, and then it went away afterwards. It's actually, we've been able to sustain that growth in those areas.
Yeah, a lot of trends obviously here to stay. Accelerated.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, it's our job to keep it that way now.
Yeah.
Keep delighting the customers when they come in the store.
We just stopped here to have a look at your frozen section. This is quite a big section within the store. Is this changed much? Does this category obviously perform very well during COVID as well?
Yeah, so I think traditionally, if you look at a student-dominated store, well, if you look at any store, ice cream's always the biggest category, without a shadow of a doubt. Probably followed by pizzas and potato products.
Yeah.
So what we've reduced range in other areas to really open up and again offer the customer something really different for an independent store. The range that we've got in there is tailored to the area and the demographic and the type of customer we serve. So again, there's quite a bit of premium in terms of your sort of Ben and Jerry's and your branded ice creams, but we also do a sort of a more standard offer in terms of the co-op ranges that we offer across there. The one area we have seen good growth in is the grow category, which is the plant-based. So we've seen good growth on the frozen across that. It's now just a case of how we go about increasing the range in that area. So we do lots of range reviews in the store. We use Nisa's back office to really highlight the lines that are and aren't working for us. We're fortunate that we've got 4 or 5 stores in the group. So if it isn't working, it just comes out, goes in that store, and we go again with it, and we look at what we can do differently within that category.
Yeah, and you touched upon like premiumization. Is that a big driver? I suppose it's about offering value at one end, and then also
yeah, definitely. I mean, if you look at sort of, I would say probably 9 of the 10 customers that buy the likes of Ben and Jerry's and Haagen-Dazs is students. So it's about very much that if you saw that range when we opened the store, it was very much a planogram to saying, actually, some of this isn't working. We need to adapt to our customer base rather than trying to force them into perhaps trying to buy something that they don't want, or even worse, they pop to one of our competitors and you don't get that sale at all then.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. So we carry on walking through your store.
Yeah, so again, we've got sort of a dedicated space for bread on the end there. The idea of that is it's at the back of the store, so if the customer's looking for it, it pulls them to that area of the store. In terms of the grocery range, very minimum. It's almost like a bit of a distress sort of range within there. We just keep the real basics within the category. We do quite a bit of sort of European products. So we do really well with Polish ranges. We do lots of Lay's crisps, which you'll see just coming up on your right now. We did have a large section of sort of like Japanese and Chinese ranges in the store, but with obviously a lot of students heading back, we've sort of curtailed that off a little bit until we get into probably September time and the term starts back up again. Again, in terms of biscuits, again, it probably stereotypical with students. Oreo, we sell sort of crazy amounts. Again, it's that brand that really drives the sort of sale on that. But we've actually extended biscuits twice in the store since we opened, because it's just an area where whatever you put in there, you see the sales increase across that category. So the grocery, if we compare when we opened the store to now, there is probably about 20% of the grocery range in the store that we had on opening. That's allowed us to open up on things like large pops. So I think when we opened, we had maybe 2 bays. We've now got sort of 5 or 6. Same again with sort of like your crisps. So big bag take-home crisps. Don't really do many 6-packs. If there's anything new to the market, we'll introduce that. But generally, the crisps is all about the single take-home bags. You know, the dips, your Pringles, that type of, Friday, probably stereotypical Friday night. Some beers, some ciders, quick snacks, and then that's getting ready for your night out in the city.
Do you find like the younger Generation Z students are more indulgent? They want more of those products?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, things like Lotus is massive for us, the Biscoffee at the moment.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I had a cheesecake from our local restaurant last night, and it was absolutely phenomenal. So I was searching Break's website last night, trying to find whether they sell it for us to be able to sort of retail that in the store. But yeah, definitely the treats category is one that the students really buy into, along with spirits and license, which I suppose is the interesting thing with the spirits and the license is that we've seen a big increase in no alcohol as well, especially the last sort of 8 months. So I think initially you had the first bit of lockdown, we had that fantastic weather, the license sales really increased. And then everyone got to a point where they were like, actually, we can't keep on doing this. And we saw a big switch in the students to the low alcohol, no alcohol sales were increased by about 100% a week, just overnight pretty much. But yeah, the sweet treat bits is definitely big for the students.
Yeah. And that leads nicely. So we're looking here at the alcohol section. So has this had an impact during the pubs opening and things like that? Has it been a big impact on sales?
It's remained steady. What we've actually found since the pubs and bars have opened is that it's actually increased. It's driven more people for us into the city centre.
Yeah.
So late evening, because the nightclubs aren't open, when people are leaving the pubs at 11, 12 o'clock, if they're going home to continue the evening, they will sort of pop in the store and pick up a bottle or cans of beer to take home. That's why we also introduced the premium sort of spirits within there.
Yeah.
That area, you'll have to excuse that area at the moment. We're working with Philip Morris, and they're putting some bespoke units in for us. So it's a bit of a work in progress at the moment.
Yeah. And it's I suppose with that Philip Morris, the vaping have you got like specialist staff in there who are experts on that?
So basically we started working with Philip Morris probably about 2 or 3 months ago. They have a dedicated ICOS representative in the store 7 days a week. We're the sort of hub for the West Midlands for ICOS. So if you want to repair your device, swap your device, or if it's damaged, you can bring that back into the store. The colleague in there will be able to repair that or replace that for you. And they also work on trying to educate customers on what ICOS actually is. So it's working really well at the moment. The guys that we work with from there, Ian and Rochelle, have been phenomenal in helping us get this set up. We're actually looking to move the spirits into a glass cabinet, which is why that area is a little bit not quite what you would expect with the Budweiser and the Corona on the stack. That will eventually be a glass unit where the premium spirits will move into.
Is that your premium spirits in that container there?
Yeah, so in the glass cabinet. It was a very interesting one because Ricky, again, the owner, we had a bit of a chat and we bought some premium spirits, and I was very much not too sure whether that's going to work. But actually from day one, we saw a big interest in that type of product. It's very difficult to buy it in the city centre. You're really looking at online is the only place that you can buy that. So
yeah,
it has worked really well for us.
Yeah. And I suppose a point of differentiation from your competitors as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of our competition in the city centre is the multiples. So we can be we can be a little bit more flexible than they can in introducing that type of experience for the customer. So we've really worked on looking at how we can be different to them rather than trying to compete directly with them.
Yeah. Yeah, we carry on walking through your store.
Yeah, so again, this area has totally changed as well. There used to be, that island used to sort of face the other way, but it became a bit of a blocker to the spirits. So again, we did some work probably about 12 months ago to put another vertical aisle in. Again, we have a lot of the high value, so it might not quite make sense when you're looking at sweets, but then you flow into sort of tea and coffee and health and beauty. But actually, it's more of a security aspect in terms of theft than it is sort of that's how we would like to lay the store out. In that area again, we've got spirits where behind the counter, which is your more sort of standard range, but again, it's a bit of a feature in the store in terms of the way it's laid out.
And I see your self-service checkouts there as well.
Yeah. So we've had those in for probably about 2 years. We put them in about 6 months after the store opened, basically because even though we had 2 colleagues on the till, you were still finding that it was difficult to get that queue through. So we introduced the 2 self-scans just to make it easier for the shopper. We'd seen from our other sites that there was obviously a decline in cash usage, and there was quite a big decline in the use of cash in the stores and cash machines. So it just makes that experience quicker for the customer. And when you look at the sort of millennials, that's what they expect. They expect that to be in your store. It's almost like a given now. If you're opening a store in this location with this sort of customer base, you've got to have that in there.
Yeah, they want to be in and out of the store as quick as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, touch wood, they've been fantastic since day one. We have very little issue with them. The guys can complete authorizations from behind the till, so it does work very well for the store, especially during the really busy periods.
Very good. We keep just walking through nearly at the end, but I suppose really kind of to close, I was kind of just want to understand what kind of is your main focus for the rest of the year.
So I think for us, the next big thing for this year is really getting into the digital marketing. Coventry's the city of culture this year for 2021. So that's quite big on our agenda in the store and the plans we've got for sort of engaging with the community and the visitors to the city around that. But I think digital is that's the big thing for us. It's about how we can attract more customers to the store using that digital platform. We've seen the likes of Yex that we're registered with, where they will try and make our store appear at the top of that search list. And I've seen lots of data around how often it's people are searching for X product near me or X convenience store near me. So that's probably the big thing. And then we're just monitoring at the moment the sort of home delivery aspect. Obviously during COVID it exploded, but I think from the market data we've been looking at, we're seeing a bit of a decline in that at the moment. That seems to be dropping off. What we want to try and do is, because we've got 3 stores close together, we want to set up our own home delivery service.
Okay.
Just making sure we can make that viable and tying that in with the digital, I suppose.
Yeah. Do you use any delivery partners at the moment?
Yeah, so we've got Uber Eats in the store. We're also a hub for like the Krispy Kreme delivery service as well. So we've got those in store at the moment. It's just looking at the 30% in terms of the Uber Eats is we want to try and make it more competitive for the consumer. It needs to be better for them. If you speak to us, I don't think any of us are really happy when we order it and pay that. How can we simplify that is what we want to look at doing within our business and make it more appealing for the consumer. Excellent. So that's all we've got time for, Matthew.
Okay, thank you very much for showing us around the store today. And it's a great store, and I'm sure the audience and myself would like to go visit that as well. So thank you for your time. Thank you very much.